Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All My Plants. Today I have some plant chores. I've got a hoya, a begonia, maybe a couple begonias actually. So I've just got a handful of odds and ends that I'm going to try to get out of the way. It's dark out, it's nighttime. It's actually 10:40 at night. I'm a night owl, what can I say? But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing is a hoya. That once again has, or maybe still has, root mealybugs. I'm a little bit close to the camera, huh? And someone recently told me that when I'm playing with these plants, I should be wearing gloves. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Nobody wants a mealybug under their fingernails. So, and also that I don't have to cut off the roots. I can just douse them in peroxide, which I have done before, and I've had mixed results. Peroxide, like, we use it to treat root rot for a reason, because it can desiccate the roots. Not necessarily that it's a desiccant, but it can kind of dry out your roots and make them non-functional. I don't know. I've had mixed results. Like I said, sometimes it works great, other times maybe not so much, and I don't know if that's me or if that's the plants. Like, some plants take to it better than others. I don't know, I haven't tried it in a while, but we're gonna try it, taking suggestions, because it's been a real pain in the butt. Where's my dish? There's my dish. This is the only pot I have to put it back in. It's in pond, so I'm gonna put it back in pond. I have this pot clean currently, so I'm gonna use that. And it's the Hoya Silver Dollar, which I think I just showed it not too long ago in an updates video and said that it really wasn't having any issue. But then I noticed that it's shut out this new vine here. It hasn't dropped any leaves, I don't think. No, it hasn't dropped any, but it hasn't grown any since it grew this one kind of larger one. So I picked it up, and in the bottom here, it is just swarming with white floof in the reservoir. So, and I don't check my reservoirs nearly as often as I should. Hang on, let me take a picture so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. And I'm sure they're mealybugs. Unless pond for some reason leaves a powdery white bug-looking substance floating around on top of your reservoir. Oh, that's Snapchat. That's not gonna work, is it? I'll just Snapchat everyone. There we go. Oops, standard view. For some reason I'm on macro. But yeah, so that's the picture. Yes, it's gross. Like I said, I hardly ever rinse my pond or leca. When I water it through, it's about as much rinsing as it gets. I know it's bad for the plumbing, but I'm the plumber around here, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna dump it right in here. Let me get this monitor out of the way. Oh, that's gross. Oh, and there's a little fungus gnat skittering along on top too. Yay. Alright. It's gotta be pretty bad, because that's the worst I've ever seen them in a reservoir. I actually can't see them. Oh yeah, I can. I was going to say, some of the ones that I pulled out on the inside of the pot, you could kind of see either the bugs themselves or the like residue from them, like the white powderiousness. And I can see a little bit going on here in the roots. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I just haven't hit the mother lode yet. But they're definitely in there, here and there. It's really hard to see. They're not quite as big and juicy as regular mealybugs. Sometimes you hit a clump though. There's not really a whole lot of like clumps of them in here. Oh. There's some. I don't really want to touch my phone now to take a picture, but just believe me, they're there. Let's see if I can get closer without making a mess and dropping them all over my floor. maybe you can see like right there, over here, up in there. It's just little patches of yuck. Okay, so I am going to kind of remove that as much as possible. I just don't want to give them any more extra crevices to hide when I rinse with peroxide, so. But yeah, this like a couple people have gotten like upset that I removed the roots, which I've had very good luck with that so far. And it doesn't really set the plant back that much. It might seem a little extreme, but it really doesn't set the plant back a whole lot. And like I said, it's pretty effective. So that's why I just choose to go that route. All right. I'm not really stripping them harshly, but I am kind of brushing off whatever will come off. I don't know how well you can see what I've done there, but I need another tray to set this in / on. I'm just gonna set that there. Sorry if it sounds like a wind tunnel. I'm sitting 4 feet from the air conditioner. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get this stuff here out of the room. Okay, and now I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if the gloves are to prevent contamination of the plant, myself, or other plants. But either way, as long as I'm wearing the gloves, I still have mealybug cooties all over my hands. So, like, I understand the idea, but in theory, in my little pea brain, it doesn't work great. This is just alcohol, 70%, I think. Because I don't actually know where my hand sanitizer is. So yeah, a little alcohol for the gloves and a little alcohol for me. Water. I'm just letting this alcohol evaporate off before I go handling the H2O2. I think it's 30%. Oh, 3%. I guess 30% would probably be a lot, huh? All right. Oh. I don't think I've ever read the uses listed on peroxide before. Skip ahead 5 seconds if, like, cooties bother you. It says aids in the removal of phlegm, mucus, or other secretions associated with occasional sore mouth. I think the only thing I actually use peroxide for is tooth whitening. I'm just dousing them. Just dousing them. The last plant that I doused with peroxide was my Monstera aurea, and that's because it had root rot and I really wanted to dry that off. So that is what I used it for last, plant-wise. Otherwise, I really don't use it for plants anymore. Somebody had asked about flushing it through the soil or the substrate, and I think I said the same thing. Yes, it does work, but you're not only killing the bad stuff, you're killing the good stuff too. And for my money, it's just as easy to, oh wow, roots are falling off now. It's just as easy to cut the roots off. But we'll try it this way. We'll see if it, number one, takes care of the mealybugs, and if number two, it like doesn't set the plant back as much as cutting the roots off. So, wow, were they rotted? Why would they be rotted? They're just stripping. I didn't notice that before if they were, but look at that. That's not a healthy root. It looks like sphagnum moss. That's how it's stripping. Okay. It's like they're all over my glove. Not saying it's the peroxide, but I didn't notice that a minute ago. Ugh, okay. So I'm gonna cut the roots off because they're stripping. These roots are toast. I will bring it closer so you can see what I mean. They're turning into like hair-like fibers right before my eyes. Like, you see this one? Roots aren't supposed to look like that. They're just falling apart now. It's just stripping off. Like, I'm not pulling hard or anything. But, that's not awesome. Like I said, now they kind of look like sphagnum moss. I'm cutting them. I'm cutting them. So yeah, I tried the peroxide method. Like I said, I'm not sure that I'm not blaming this necessarily on the peroxide. But when I was pulling the pollen off earlier, the roots weren't coming off. Now they're just coming off. Ugh. All right. So yeah. Yeah, they're breaking all apart. The roots are no good. They're no good. Change my gloves. Change the battery because it's getting low, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we've got a nice fresh battery, hopefully. I can actually see a few mealybugs like sizzling in this peroxide that's left in this tray. So that's fun. That's fun. I guess if you like watching bugs sizzle, that's fun. I don't know why I said that's fun. I don't enjoy watching anything suffer, even mealybugs. But I also don't want them to hang out. I'm just spraying these scissors with some alcohol because I don't know if I've cut anything with them. And I have had plant problems, obviously. So I'm going to cut all the roots off first. And I am going to probably also propagate this. Just makes my life easier. Just makes my life easier. I'm not going to say there won't be any root left, but most of this is going because it's obviously falling apart. Like I said, I'm not blaming the alcohol, but that's not the first time I've seen roots like desiccate before my eyes. Like I said, and it's not all plants. Maybe this plant was already having some root issues because of the mealybugs. But that's why I don't use alcohol. Or alcohol peroxide. I use plenty of alcohol. I'm going to cut that a little shorter. Alright, so there might be some root stubble left, but that's about it. That's about it. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this tray. Actually, let me go ahead and clean these. What did I do with the alcohol spray? That quick. That quick, y'all. This is me. There's the alcohol spray. Go ahead and spray this real quick, and then I'll get rid of the paper towel and everything. Wow, that alcohol spray is going right into that peroxide. That's probably not ideal. If I start making poisonous gases, somebody dial 911. Alright, let me go get rid of this, and I'll be right back, and we'll chop that up. Alcohol spray again. Where can I set you for a minute? This plant was also treated today. Sorry, I thought I saw scale also. It's not, it's just a scar. Just in case there's any weird remnants on there, we'll just soak them with alcohol too. I'm pretty sure somebody once told me alcohol kills germs. The new leaf, the one that is the newest currently, and the new vine are very, very close to the main stem of the plant there. This is the new leaf. So I'm going to cut below that and leave myself enough room to root it from there. And then I'll also cut above this leaf. And this top piece with 3 leaves will be a cutting. And I will also try to reroot the base. I'm going to just put them all in pon. Got brand new pon. So that's what I'm going to do. I think. Yes. And I will leave the tendrils on. Sometimes they die back, sometimes they don't. That made a really long stem. We're just going to cut it down some. Alright. Let me dig out my pon. I think I tore my sack of pon. Why is it so heavy? Oh good, there's a scoop in it. Okay. So I do reuse the wicks, but I boil them right along with the leca or pon or whatever it was in. Still plenty dusty. And then the pots, when I reuse them, I've just kind of been washing them out with some hot soapy water with a little bit of bleach in it. And it seems to be sufficient. Maybe there's a better way of doing it, but I don't know what that way is. Hot and soapy, that's how we go. Yeah, I would love it if peroxide always worked well for me. If like it was just super simple all the time to treat root mealies, but I just haven't found it to be. So far, all of the plants that had root mealies were hoya. They all came from the same place, the same person. They were all in pon. Every single one, I think, that I've repotted, I've done the same thing too. I've put it back in pon, and at first, the first thing I did was I tried systemics. That didn't do the trick. I guess it just doesn't work as well in semi-hydro. And then I've ended up planting most of them into soil with systemics, or cutting the roots off completely. The ones that I've left the root on and put in soil with systemics, I guess they're okay. They're growing. It's the Hoya Ganungading, the Hoya Wilbur Graves China. I don't know, it was a couple of them, I can't remember. But it was a handful of Hoya. I'm going to say 10 or so maybe came to me with root mealies. So, yeah. Getting rid of the roots has worked so far that I can tell with the Hoya Panchoi and the Hoya Obavata intervariegated, Obavata Splash intervariegated, and the Matilde Splash. That I can tell. Like I said, who knows? I thought I had gotten this one under control until I picked it up the other day and just saw all those mealies in there. That, and I'm kind of terrible about, I'll see it and I'll be like, that's root mealies, and I'll just wait a few days before I deal with it. I'll just wait a few days. So now we've got a pot here with 3 cuttings of Hoya Silver Dollar. What did I do with the tag? Maybe we should alcohol that as well. Hopefully I don't alcohol the name right off. But if it does, I guess I have another permanent marker somewhere. It's fine. 'Tis fine. Because who knows if there's root mealies crawling around on that, or eggs, or who knows. Oh yeah, it's smearing. It's turning purple. Maybe I'll just blot it instead of smearing it around. Alright, tag's still okay. That goes over there. I'm just throwing things in a trash heap over here at this point. It's ridiculous. Yeah, 3 cuttings. Looks a little weird. Like I said, the tendrils might die. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But yeah, I'll water that through when we're done here. Like, wish me luck. Wish me luck. And if you think those roots were fine after I dumped them in peroxide, feel free to tell me in the comments. It's fine. I do try to take your advice, and I listen to what people are telling me and suggestions and stuff, and I'll try them. It just didn't work this time in particular, and I don't know if that's because the roots were already compromised or because it's peroxide and some roots really don't like it. I don't know. I don't know. But here we are. Okay. Now, the next 2 plants are Begonias, Begonia Sinbad and Begonia Cracklin' Rosy. And there's nothing wrong with those plants. So I'm not going to wear gloves. I hope you won't be offended. And they are going into soil. There's no systemic in this soil. And it actually might be too chunky for begonias. I can't remember what I was potting last. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's all bark. Some really barky soil. I'll show you. It's extra chunky. I don't know what I was planting, but it's not going to be the best for begonia, I don't think. Okay. Let me get my other soil, and maybe we'll fatten this up a little bit, or maybe we'll just use that right out of the bag. I think it's a Miracle Grow tropical plant blend or something. Yeah, it's this guy here, Tropical Potting Mix, specially formulated to include lava rock. It says designed to help your tropical plants thrive. Right next to that is a picture of a peace lily. So, but on the front they have Monstera, Sansevieria, or I guess Dracaena now, and Fiddly Fig. Nothing is designed to keep Fiddly Fig alive. Maybe it's just me. That's kind of chunky, but it's still more moisture retentive than what I have in there. Well, we're going to start with the Cracklin' Rosy, which I don't know how it's still alive. It's not thriving anymore. It's been in the greenhouse. And the only thing that's really been wrong with it is spider webs. This little bitty pot. It's very dry in there. That is bone dry. Half the soil was gone out of it, and it's just like it was in the cover pot to keep it from falling over because it's very top heavy, and it's one of those ones every day I just kind of dump some water into the cover pot outside and it still dries like that. I mean, we've been in the middle of a heat wave or something here, so I'm going to up pot it significantly to this 6-inch pot. Yeah. It's funny, I mean, I see some roots around there, but not as many as you'd expect. Maybe they're just dark because they're half dead and dehydrated. I don't know. I'm going to set that there for a minute and get this bag of soil open. Whew. One would hope. Why is the struggle so real? So this really doesn't look that chunky, but it does have like these little teeny, I guess, pumice or lava rock or whatever in it. But otherwise it looks pretty much just like Miracle Grow. I don't see any perlite in it though. That's kind of weird. It's kind of what it looks like down in there. It's a little dark, I'm sure, but maybe you can get the idea. There's not a lot going on there. It's very fine. But as it's a begoner, I suppose it won't mind. A begonia. Sorry, I don't know where I got begoner from. But I'm stuck saying it. I am going to put a little bit of this in the bottom. It might help stop some of this soil from immediately washing out. Maybe. I find that fine soils want to come out of the bottom of the pot pretty easy. Just a thin layer like a glaze. All right, it's about 1 inch in the bottom maybe, which will just keep this root ball kind of from sitting directly on the bottom. Yeah. I'm gonna pot it all the way to the back of the pot. Maybe I can find a cane to kind of tie it to and put it in the front. I'm just tired of it falling over all the time. It takes under watering fairly well. I mean, it's got some crispiness on the edges of some of the older leaves, but it's shut out this new piece here. And like, to feel the plant as dry as it is, it still feels rigid for a begonia, as rigid as a begonia gets, I guess. It feels plump and hydrated, even though the roots definitely are not. Is there slow release fertilizer in this? I guess I should look. It says feeds for up to 6 months. I don't know if I believe that, but okay. Oh, designed to be less prone to gnats. The bugs in here are insane. I don't think I've ever had so many bugs in my house, and I don't know from where. Like, there are moths on the ceiling. There's, like, every other day. You might have seen them in my last video, because I know I was still having the same problem then. Like, dead bugs in the windowsills. Lots and lots of these little gnats. Like, I don't know where they're coming from or what's killing them. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sick of them hanging out. I have to come in here and like vacuum them up about every other day. Stink bugs, moths, some other bug I can't identify. Here's a picture of it. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Like, does it bite? Does anybody know what that is? Like, at first I thought they were some sort of like dragonfly, but not quite. Because we've had a lot of dragonflies this year. Generally, I don't see them in the house, but yeah. Not wet enough in here for them, I guess. Yay! So it's not falling over now. But it still might, so I got a covered pot with a piece of leca in it. I don't know where the leca came from. But, total. Alright, so that's ready to be watered somewhere. Did that pot have a sticker on it? No, it's got a spider on it. I'm going to start labeling things because otherwise I'm like, who are you? What's your name? I'm the worst. Man, this green Sharpie, I can't get rid of it. What's that? Alocasia watsoniana. My Alocasia watsoniana did not come back from dormancy. It's still sitting back here behind me, just being a quorm. It's not mushy or anything. I don't know what's going on with it. Alright, anyway. Begonia. Crackling Rosie. Yeah, I don't know when I forgot the names of so many plants, but that and some of them I just stare at for a long time going, who are you? For like a really long time. And I never do come to a conclusion as to who it is. Alright, so this is the Begonia Sinbad that I just got, and it's drying like nobody's business. Half the soil is gone on one side of the pot. Yeah, Begonia Sinbad. It's bone dry, and I think I watered it the day before yesterday. Maybe even yesterday. It's just hydrophobic. The roots on this one look a little bit better. I can actually see the roots on this one, but it's so dry. It's so dry. I wasn't sure if I was going to up pot it, but looking at it, I could go a little bit larger. Just a smidge. A smidgen. Into what? Let me go pot hunting. I found a pot. It's a little crusty, but it's clean. And Greenhouse Cat came in because it's been raining. I think we got like 1.5 inches of rain today. No, I'm sorry. It's closer to 2.5 inches of rain in the last less than 24 hours. Because I was just talking to somebody like last night, and I think I said, you know, it hasn't rained in 46 days or something crazy like that, and it hadn't. I'm sorry, you have to move just for a little while. Just anywhere. Just down there. Don't do it. She never comes in. She never comes in. She generally hangs out in the house, or in the, the greenhouse or the gazebo, pavilion, whatever the thing is we built out there. Can you go curl up on the sofa with your dog? Or no? Olive. Sweet Olive. Okay, you're gonna get hair all in my potting soil. Come over here then. Okay, so she refuses to not love me currently. So yeah, this is not much of an up pot for what's going on there, but it is a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put just a little bit of the extra barky soil in the bottom. No. I have to move that. Come on, Olive. Just to hopefully keep the other soil from like immediately running out the bottom. Ma'am, you're not helpful. Come here. Psst, psst, psst. You're not helpful. Ma'am. Psst, psst. Miss Ma'am. Sweet Olive. Her just needs some love. You're shedding terribly. There's cat hair, clouds of it flying. Psst, psst, psst. And I'm allergic to you. I won't breathe right for a week. You sweet girl. My little old lady. Okay, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I think I inhaled a whole kitten. I'm twitching. Anyway, I found a pot. I put some barky soil in the bottom of that pot. Begonia Sinbad is going to live in this pot now. That was the point. I really like this plant, but to be honest, it really hasn't done much since it's been here. I can see where it's putting out a couple leaves and maybe put out a couple more flowers. But for every leaf it's put out, one has died. Like there's 2 on it that are going currently. I haven't had this outside yet. But I probably will put it out there. Gosh, I just realized I stuck this one begonia right in front of the air conditioner. The crackling rosy. That's probably not great for it. Right in front of the air conditioner vent. Where it's square, I didn't really want to disrupt the roots, so I'm just kind of trying to like push it down on the sides there. If that makes any sense. I think begonia roots are kind of fine and fragile, and I try not to muck about with them any more than I have to. I really want to propagate that crackling rosy. Like, I'm plotting on it. I really want to propagate this one too, but it doesn't really, I don't know, I expected more on it. I don't know, this one's doing okay. It really acts like it needs a repot though. I just watered this yesterday, complete with hair. And like I said, it's got new growth everywhere, but like, is that normal for this begonia? Whose name is on the screen because I can't remember it. Like, it's pretty, but it always looks not perky. Maybe it's just not a perky begonia. I don't know. I still have soil falling out the bottom even though I put that chunky stuff down there. But yeah, I don't know. This isn't a vigorous grower in my care. The crackling rosy definitely is, and even that one is, even though, like I said, it doesn't look perky at all. I don't know. But I like them both. What's that on the back of your leaf? Oh, that's dirt. My bad. I guess I'm getting some soil down there. Planting a square peg in a round hole. It's not the easiest. And I'm only planting it, or like putting new substrate just barely above the highest point of the oldest substrate, if that makes sense. Just barely above it. And like I said, even though that has fertilizer, I'll just water it this time, but the next time I go around, it's getting fertilizer. Also, I've stopped doubling up on the high nitrogen fertilizer. The only plants that really suffered when I did that was, I don't know, maybe this one here a little bit. It's got some crispy tips now. The Mealy, I watered that at the same time, and the alocasia. The anthurium did it? Who would know with the anthurium? They don't love me. I was gonna cover pot. I actually have one that I washed. Lovely! We dig it. It's got little flowers on it. I don't know if you can see them. I'll show you. I realize I'm like 9 miles away from the camera. It's just easier for me to set back there. Otherwise, I can't really fit everything in the screen. It's something with my settings. I keep messing with them and making it worse. I don't know why, but I feel like I have hair all over me. I probably do have hair all over me. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that Begonia while we're here, the Crackling Rosie. And I think I have like a test tube style propagation station hanging in my window there. One of my young people got it for me for Christmas, I'm pretty sure. And I'll just plunk it in there with some water. Well, I've made a mess. Let me clean this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the shorter one alone, but I think I'm gonna do, am I just gonna take one cutting off the top? These leaves are massive on this thing. Like, I don't know if you can tell what the scale is, but like, this leaf, like, directly under my chin. That's a good one. It's a good one. I don't know if I've ever had a cane begonia that grew such large leaves. I'm pretty sure. Like, it really liked it outside, but the growth has been a bit smaller, just a bit, and maybe not quite as rapid since it's been drying every day. But it's a dead flower dongle. A dead flower dongle. All right. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna take like the top, I guess it's gonna be 3 leaves. Or should I do 4? 3, because I think it's gonna be a hard time to support 3 with no roots. I think 4 would be pushing my luck. Just alcohol spray again. I think I cleaned them after I used them, but I can't remember. So I figure if I just clean them every time before I use them, doesn't matter if I cleaned them after I used them. I'm traumatized from the plant problems, the bacterial issues, or whatever I was having, bacterial, fungal, it doesn't matter. It was not fun. All right, so yeah, we've left ourselves 3 leaves here, and it's got a very short, and I cut it just above this leaf. Like, I didn't leave much there at all above it, but that was, you know, that was as much as I could leave myself. So I don't know if it's actually going to go into that test tube and stay. It's going to want to topple out, I think, because it's heavy. But look at it. It's such a pretty plant. Those dots are like a silvery pink. I don't know if that shows. I think it's some of the back showing through the silvery whiteness. Like, they look a lot whiter on the new leaf compared to the older leaves. I don't know. Pretty either way. It's got a couple little places in there where it'll grow from. There. There. It'll be lovely if we can get roots on her. I've got this old jar here. What is it? It says Rumford. I think it was baking soda. Like maybe mid 1900s baking soda. You know, everything used to come in glass back in the day. There wasn't. I remember eating, like if you put mustard on a sandwich, it came out of a glass jar. Ketchup was in glass bottles. I don't know, there's something I really like about these old bottles. And I have a ton of them. A lot of them are baking soda. I have old Vaseline glass bottles. They say Chooseboro or something on them. I don't know. I even have Lydia Pinkham's Lady Tonic. I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I just really, it's nostalgia maybe, these old bottles. But anyway, so I think that's what I'm going to put it in, because the bottle is heavy enough to hold this upright, and I'll have to fill it all the way to the tippy top to touch the plant, but that's fine. The stem to have its root. I guess I could make, and I want to try this. I do a little bit of like earthware pottery, and I want to make these. It's like these kind of. I'm trying to think how you'd explain it. It rests on the top of like some of your standard sized jars, and it has just a small hole through the center that's big enough for a plant stem. A little bit of vine to poke through down into the water, and because that hole is so tiny, it really holds it in place. Now the thing that concerns me about that is getting it out after it's rooted. But yeah, the ceramic, I don't glaze mine, so it sucks up some moisture too. It retains a little bit of moisture. Your water doesn't evaporate out of the jar so fast either. I don't know. Kind of like this. I mean, this piece is green, it's unfired. But when it is fired, I won't glaze it, and it'll kind of be, why are we not focusing? Like the texture of terracotta. It will shrink some, but it'll still rest on top of this jar. And that little hole right there, I can put the cutting through. So in theory, this will keep my cutting from either falling all the way in or falling out. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna let it dry and I'll fire it in a few days. I'll get back to y'all and let you know, because somebody sells something similar to this, prettier than mine, on Etsy. I just whipped this up real quick so you can kind of see what I was talking about. I want to try that. Just haven't gotten around to it. But anyway, I think this will do. This will do. I'll just have to fill it way to the tippy top. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to cut it anywhere else. It did just come in from the greenhouse though, so I'm just kind of looking at it. I did kind of just hose it down. I just hose them down with water before I bring them in here, just in case. Wow, that new leaf is really pretty. I gotta show you that one. This is on the secondary shoot. Like, it's so dark and glossy, and the spots are really pink. Really pink on there. This was the last new leaf on that particular shoot. But this one, so pretty. It's not even done growing yet, but gosh, it's gorgeous. Gosh, it's nice. I like this plant so much. I really do. Even if I did let it get a little too dry and crispy. Alright, that might finish me off. Alright, I think that's going to finish me off for today. It's midnight now, and I've still got to water these through and put these, I think I'm going to put the Begonia Sinbad outside too. Put those guys back in the greenhouse. Fill my water jar up. And I'm just putting water in the Hoya Silver Dollar propagations for now. I don't know if you want to complain at me for not leaving those roots. You can, but I just don't think, I think they were unwell. I don't know, I made an executive decision. I don't think there was anything else pressing that I had to do today anyway. Oh, I found some alocasia corms. I'm not sure what they are. It's 3 little ones. 3 little alocasia corms. I don't know what they are. No idea. They're still damp, so I couldn't have put them in here that long ago, right? It's like a, oh, well, the peat actually isn't that damp. It just kind of looked damp. What did I get them out of? Maybe alocasia poly or amazonica, or what else do they call that one? African mask? I don't know. I think I'm going to leave them another day or so, because if that's what they are, that plant was root rotted completely when I grabbed it. I actually grabbed it because I liked the pot. It's like, I think it's Costa Farms that came out with these, was it? Live Trends, is that Costa Farms? I don't know. I don't know who that is, but Live Trends. And they're these self-watering planters. So the plant was toast, but I wanted the planter, and it was half price. So I grabbed it. I think it was, ended up being $9. But yeah, self-watering. And I kind of, I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. Not seen one quite like that. This was the plant that was in it. So you can tell me what it is. African mask poly amazonica. I think I've heard it go by all 3 names. Not sure. And like, the plant itself doesn't look bad, but it also looked like this in the pot. So there's no root on that guy. It's just sitting there to kind of callus. It's actually been sitting there for a while. So I think the corms probably came from that. They might have even come from that Regal Shield. I don't think so though, because I think they'd be drier. I got a bad habit of pulling corms out and like throwing them in something and being like, I'll get to you later. You'll be fine. But then I don't know what they are. Speaking of, I should label that Begonia Sinbad, huh? I always think I won't forget the name, and then 2 seconds later I've already forgotten the name. So anyway, as I was starting to say, I think that was all that I had to do. And then I rambled for a while. That's what I do. But anyway, thank you for hanging out with me, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.